beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. You guys, I have to stop saying hey so loud. I understand. We listened to it back a couple of the pods, and I'm a little loud with that, and I don't like I don't like it. I'll just say that. So we're gonna switch it up, and we're gonna say hey, but we just gonna be like hey, like that. But we are here today to discuss the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I know, Miss Consistency became a little inconsistent with Real Housewives of Atlanta because shit was just boring, y'all. It wasn't giving me much. And I do know that people are split. Like half the people like it, half the people don't like it. I'm in between. Do I still watch it? Yes. Am I entertained? Not every time. So when I'm not entertained and there's nothing to really talk about, I don't really talk about it. So I know that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to talk about it every single episode. And I am going to get better with that. But you have to admit, I have been consistent up until now. Okay. So give me a little grace. But if you are new to the channel, first of all, I want to say welcome to my new subbies. Hey y'all, welcome and thank you for subscribing. If you have not yet subscribed and you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you be part of the beautiful people family. Like the video, you guys, it does wonders for my analytics, algorithms, all of that. And it helps to push the video out so that others can see it and comment because I absolutely speak back to people. But let's get into the episode. All right, so they wake up and they are still on their girls' trip. And you know how they do a little montage of, every girl kind of waking up or whatever. So we start off with Angela. And you guys, I have changed my view on Angela, not because everybody else likes her, but because I kind of feel bad for her. And I don't feel like she has the worst attitude ever. Like Angela is already always okay with making up and trying to move forward. I do think she's slick and sly. I do. But I do think she needs a win. Like, I just feel bad for the fact that she needs a win. And once again, she's in this situation where she needs a win. She's calling her husband, Charles Oakley, because it's their anniversary. And she's like, yeah, he's not picking up the phone. He's literally not picking up the phone for her. And she's like, I spoke to him on our actual anniversary. This is the first time they've been away from each other for the anniversary. But she's like, he was busy cooking for our daughter. So, and she's calling, it's ringing. She's in the confessional talking about how they are falling in love with each other all over again. And I'm like, girl, you're so delusional. But I mean, I get it. Speak it into existence. Go ahead, sis. Um, but it's just kind of sad for her. Like, I really do feel sad for her. She has marital issues. She has issues with her children, issues with her family. Her mom just passed. Like, I really want to win for Angela. I do. But we move. We move downstairs to where the girls are starting to come down for breakfast. So Britt and Phaedra are downstairs, and we find out that Britt can't hold her liquor. Britt is throwing up everywhere last night. She had to pull the car over so she could throw up. And she's taking off her shirt and everything. And they're like, girl, are you naked? And she's like, I don't care. I have to preserve my outfit. So we find out she loves to show her boobs. We'll talk about that again later. But Kelly comes downstairs and Phaedra's like, she has on this little knit outfit, two-piece outfit, and Phaedra's like, girl, you need a nipple cover. And she's like, oh, is that a nipple you saw? And then they started blurring out that spot, so apparently her nipples were showing. So Phaedra told her she could go ahead and use some of her nipple covers. And she's like, that girl's boobs are huge. They're too big for her little body. Like, Phaedra is coming in. She's shading the shit out of people. She's serving a purpose, you guys. She's literally just here to give these one-liners and clown people. Okay, fine. But we also know that Shady Faye Faye likes the ladies too. She like lady parts. So as Kelly is like walking over to her and they're talking about her nipples or whatever, Phaedra is like filling up her boobs. She literally just walks her boob right into Phaedra's hand, and Phaedra's just filling up her poop. And I'm like, what the hell type of shit is this? You guys, I don't know what's happening in the world today, but we never did so much like lesbian stuff when we got drunk or at any point in time were we ever like feeling on each other like that. I just don't understand. It seems to be very common now, but we move. Yep, you guys, point proven. So Cynthia comes down in her Afghan. Cynthia got on a whole Afghan. She's so old. Like, why is she here, Ike? Seriously. But she comes down and they're talking to Britt about, not drinking. She's like, I told you guys I don't do shots. We're too classy for shots. Shots are for kids or teenagers or whatever. I don't know where she got that from. But they were talking about how drunk she was. And Phaedra's like, yeah, she was so drunk that she came back and her nipple was inverted. And she's like, and then it just popped back out or whatever. And I was just like, was that a magic trick? So then she's in the confessional saying that they are roomies. And she's like, yeah, Britt doesn't like to wear bras or underwear at any given time. And she's like, so basically, I'm elated that they put me with her because I would have never known all this private stuff about her. And basically, I've seen her birth canal. And I'm like, you're elated for that? Phaedra, girl. Yeah, Phaedra is all over Kelly, and Kelly is actually taking it really well. I don't know why, but she didn't call this girl a garden gnome mixed with Tinkerbell, and she's so loud. Drew came down. Phaedra's like, oh, it's giving Flintstone. And they're like, oh, yeah, she looks like Pebbles. Like, Phaedra doing a lot. She is doing a lot. Like, we get why you're here, and, you're giving your one-liners. However, you need to calm down. I am really surprised they're letting her get that shit off. But especially Kelly with the garden gnome. I'm sorry, that's not cute. That's not cute at all. All right, so we have the ladies breaking up into two different groups. One group is going with Kelly, and one group is going with Shamia. So Shamia has Portia, Cynthia. Yep, it was the OGs and Shamia. So it's Portia, Cynthia, Phaedra, and Shamia, and then the other car has the other girls. I just don't feel like saying their names. But, they're all discussing each other, and Shamia's pretty much saying that she wants to say something to Britt about bringing just like 3 paper towels to donate to Grenada. And she's like, you can't show up with a Birkin and a Rolls Royce and then just give like 3 things of paper towels. And they're like, what? Is that what she did? So then we get the playback of her coming up with this little box. And of course, lying, saying, oh, somebody's going to be here to drop off. I have like half a car full of stuff. And of course, it never came. So then we find out from Shamia that she ends up sending her, cash apping her or whatever, $250. And they're like, $250? And Phaedra's like, yeah, none of us should be giving anything lower than $1,000. So that's really ridiculous. And then we have Phaedra still trying to clown Drew. So she's talking about her coming out looking like not Pebbles. She said not Barney Rubble. Who's the Betty? One of them Flintstone ladies. And I did like the fact that Cynthia was like, okay, stop. Okay, stop. Like she kept telling her to stop because Phaedra was doing a lot. And yeah, if Cynthia's cool with Drew or whatever, I mean, okay, get your jokes off, but leave it alone. Don't keep going. So we move. And so what's crazy, I actually missed this part last night. So see, watching it again, I can see some things. But the girls are in the other car, talking about Phaedra, and Drew is saying how nice it's gonna be to get to know her. And all the girls are like, oh yeah, she's dope. She's really dope. And she's in the other car clowning them. So she goes from Drew to Angela. And they were like, well, yeah, Charles. And she's like, oh, yeah, he's fun. Like, he was the life of the party. And then they ask about Angela. And she's like, yeah, like, we did not know that she existed. And again, we don't know how long ago it was that Phaedra was partying with Charles or whatever. what, have they only been married like 10 years or something like that? I can't remember, but I mean, maybe it was longer than that. I mean, shit, it is 2026, y'all. 5 years just flew by. Do you understand? 5 years flew by. So yeah, he may not have been married at the time that he knew Phaedra. All right, so the ladies go and they do their little excursions or whatever, and then they all sit down to eat, but separately, of course, because they're in two different places. And we have Britt. She's sitting there with Drew and Angela, and she's saying how, she feels like this is a really good trip, and everybody is getting along well, and she's even bonding with them. And while she's speaking, they're both just eating head down, like, okay. And I don't know how well they're getting along. But in the confessional, Angela says, listen, she ain't got no problem with Britt. She's fine. She said that we just made up and she's fine with her, basically. Angela is easy. You guys, like I said, Angela, just give her an apology and she's all right. Now, Drew, I don't know. I don't even think they did a confessional with Drew. You guys, I do find it funny. Everybody's talking about how everyone has such an bad energy and have issues with Drew, and she's barely been on the show. And I'm gonna have to agree with that, you guys. I don't understand how so much is about Drew, and it seems like we've seen her the least. Like, yeah. But anyway, we go on, and then we have Phaedra and them talking about Britt and why she brought up Apollo, because apparently she just told Phaedra the day before or whatever, listen, I invited him to the party. They didn't come, but I never slept with your husband, with your man. And Phaedra's like, yeah, it was very weird. And in the confessional, she's like, I don't think she was coming for me or anything, but just the fact that she brought it up is very weird. Phaedra told her, listen, he's not my husband. I don't care. And she even said when they were eating, I wasn't even invited to this party, so you didn't even have to tell me. Like, I don't understand. So they all just really agreed that it was weird. So this whole thing with the OGs and Shamia, they're basically just kind of course not Cynthia, but they're basically just kind of shitting on Britt the entire time. Everybody's having issues with Britt and talking about how, she was clowning Shamia for drinking and she don't want to take no more shots or whatever. So Shamia's feeling away. Portia's feeling away. Phaedra's not really feeling away. She just thinks she's weird, which is true. Britt is weird as shit, you guys. Oh, and speaking of Britt, I guess I have to talk about what's happening in real time. The fact that she didn't make the reunion. I don't care. I don't care. I don't know what they're gonna talk about really though. If she's not there, Kenya's not there. It should really just be a one-part reunion because nothing's really happening on this show. She's also suing Bravo. She came out and said that the pictures that Kenya showed wasn't even of her. And I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care that she's suing them. I don't care. I do feel like they're not going to bring Kenya back now because she sued, and that makes Kenya a liability for what she did. However, I don't know what Britt is going to get. Like, I don't know if they're going to settle with her, but she did make these threats towards Kenya. I don't know. And I don't care enough to like really think about it. So there's that. What do you guys think? Do you think Kenya will be back? I mean, I did think that she would be back next season before this lawsuit, because now I just think no, they're not going to bring her back as a liability. All right, and to wrap up their lunch, everybody's talking about Drew and this person named Black. So they end up asking Drew, is she dating Black? She says no. They're like, is there any flirting or whatever? She's like, yeah, we flirt, but, I'm not dating because I'm still going through this divorce. And I'm like, very smart, Drew, very smart. Don't admit to shit on national television while you are still going through this divorce. So there's that. She said they flirted. They're not dealing with each other. She is looking for love. She would love to be in love again. She would shout it from the mountaintops. Okay. You guys, on the way back, we have a cute little scene with Shamia and Portia in the front seat eating chips or whatever. And they're looking at each other, and Portia just says, I love you. And they give each other a hug and say, okay, let's not let anything come between us again. Then Portia says, okay, let me smell your finger. And Shamia says, no, but I'll let you blow in my booty hole. And I said, oh, Okay. And then Portia starts laughing and say, "You always take it too far." So then they start making up this song together called "Blowing Your Booty Hole," blowing your booty hole, and they're like dying laughing. Yeah, they had a lot of what she say, rum punch or whatever. That's all she wanted to drink. They had a lot to drink, but fun times. You could tell that they're fun girls. They are good friends. I really do hope they get back together. But what's funny is the entire time they're in there laughing and giggling and just really acting a fool, we have Cynthia and what's her name? Phaedra in the back just talking. They ain't paying them no attention. Yeah, I find it so funny that they just finished eating lunch and Phaedra's like, "Yeah, we got like a good hour and a half to get ready." And they're going to dinner. An hour and a half later, they're going to get to dinner. But they all get dressed. Everybody looks pretty. Shamia comes out in this yellow dress with the cutouts and everything. I forgot to mention her luggage still has not arrived. She was saying that she felt self-conscious in her two-piece bathing suit because she didn't feel like her body was ready, but body's tea. Shamia's body's tea, so she was fine. And then she brought this dress apparently from Portia where her whole stomach is out and it looks good on her. She looks pretty. And Kelly looked pretty. This is the first time she didn't look overdone and like just crazy. And then what's her name? Phaedra's like, "Oh yeah, the garden gnome comes through," and hugs her. And again, Kelly's letting her call her a garden gnome. I'm sorry, but anyway, we move. And then we have Angela once again calling her husband, trying to get some love, basically. And she's telling him happy anniversary and don't you miss me? And he's like, "What? What?" And she's saying that she feels like he's acting away because he's upset that she's not there on their anniversary. And I'm like, this is kind of how he was talking the entire time. But she's saying, they normally do it on their anniversary and okay, can't y'all do it when you get back or whatever? Like, do y'all not do it that much? Does he have to have an attitude because he can't do it tonight? Like, that's crazy. But she's telling him, "Okay, I'm about to go to this dinner. I need you to leave me with something." And I felt like she wanted him to just, be like, "I love you," or something like that. And he just wouldn't say it. He's like, "Yeah, go eat your dinner and have a good time." And she's like, "Leave me with something." And I'm like, this lady is begging to be loved by her man. I'm not making her sound thirsty. This is her husband. So, yeah, you want your husband to give you some love. I just think it's sad that she literally has to beg him for some nice words and he just won't do it. He just won't do it. And he's like, "Yeah, just, there's no I love you, no nothing. It's just bye when it's time to go." And I just felt so bad for her. And she looked pretty too. So before they leave, Shami is there pouring shots, and then she is being a little passive aggressive with Brittany, where she's just like, anyone who doesn't. The one thing I don't like about Shamia is that she doesn't come out and say who she's talking to. Like, say it with your chest. Who you talking to? Call that shit out. She's like, if anyone doesn't want to take shots, then you don't have to take shots. And Britt is in the confessional, like, who is she talking to, and why is she? What is this energy she's giving me? And then Britt even said to her, "Yeah, she's talking about me because I said I don't want to take shots or whatever." And she's like, "Well, you can decline." "Well, I do decline. I'm not taking any more shots." And again, she says she's classy. She's not a hood rat. She don't need shots. And I don't know where that comes from, but okay. But yeah, she's feeling like one thing I do like about Britt, I can say, is she's crazy. Like, I really do think something's wrong with her, but she don't take no shit. Like, she's gonna call you out and confront it if you're talking shit about her. She's gonna say something to you. And that reminds me of me, y'all. That's how I am. And I remember being at work one time and this really big girl was saying something and she walked past me and was saying something about giving somebody a pumpkin head. And I turned around. I'm just like, who you talking to? Like, who you gonna give a pumpkin head? Do it. Do it. Like, and we going back and forth and everybody's pulling, her back, pulling me back. And I was just like, please don't let this big girl get to me. But I'm not gonna let you talk shit. Like, you're not gonna punk me. You're not gonna stand in my face talking about giving somebody a pumpkin head. Please do. And she probably would have. I ain't gonna lie to you. But listen, you won't have me. And when I tell you, this girl, she was the bully of the whole place or whatever. And after I stood up to her, it's true what they say. This girl was trying to be my best friend. And little did she know, I was scared as shit. But she wasn't gonna know it. All right, so at dinner we end up having this whole back and forth with Shamia. She once again does not address Brit directly. She says, "Yeah, God loves a cheerful giver, and everybody did well. But all I'm saying is, you don't show up in a Rolls Royce and a Birkin and give three paper towels." And Brit is like, "Hold on, I feel some shade here, Shamia. What's going on?" And she's like, "Did you feel shade? Because if I was shading you, you would know it." And I'm like, "No, girl, you were shading her and she know it, but not because you shaded her directly." So what are you talking about? So they end up going back and forth. And, again, I just like the way that Brit stands up for herself. And she's just like, "Listen, we had a conversation. You told me to give whatever I wanted. Like, if that wasn't good enough, then you should have said it. But all this energy you given," and Shamia's like, oh, and she's in the confessional, like, "I knew there was some sort of crazy energy from the house with the shots or whatever." And she's like, "Shamia's supposed to be my girl. I don't understand, where we're at right now." And yeah, so she's calling Shamia aggressive, and Shamia's calling her passive. Like, it's too much. Well, I'm sorry. There's just too much going on. I'm not gonna cut that out, you guys. I'm sorry. I just don't feel like it. Nah, fuck it. I'm gonna cut it. Nope, I lied. I don't feel like it. So they end up arguing to the point of Brit saying, "Listen, if anyone has an issue with me, I would appreciate it if you tell me directly. So is there anyone else at this table that has an issue with me? We can discuss it right now." Yeah, I'm sorry. Portia be cracking me up. But anyway, Portia ends up speaking up and saying, "Listen, you said that you don't feel supported or anything by girls in the group. However, you don't reach out to people. How is anybody supposed to get to know you if you're not putting yourself out there?" And Britt is crazy. She batshit crazy. She's like, "Yeah, there's this text message and you didn't say anything to me. You don't even have me saved in your phone." And it's giving me the whole thing with Kenya. And I'm like, is her obsession moving to Portia now? Like, she wants to be included so very badly that it's ridiculous. She's upset because her name is not saved in Portia's phone. What the fuck? Like, seriously. So Portia's telling how they're all on this group chat. She didn't have anybody's names in there. So as they're talking, Portia's like, "Say your name." And she's like, everybody wanted to ignore it or whatever. And she's like, "So Brittany said something, or Britt said something. I ignored her." And then she's like, "Oh, Portia, I was talking to you. You just gonna ignore me?" And Portia just said, "Who is this?" And she's like, "Girl, how you gonna be mad just because I don't have your name saved?" And I'm like, "That's true." So they're going back and forth, and Britt ends up being like, "Listen, you gotta let me finish, baby." And Portia's like, "Nope, no, nope. Don't call me baby. Like, we're not doing that. You didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish." And then, like, Portia just be saying some crazy, wild shit as she's arguing with people. But anyway, we have the prime minister showing up. So they're trying to get them to stop arguing. He shows up. He looks very, very young. We know that these women, they like, I'm not going to they like men from out the country and everything. They like powerful men. They like men with money. So everybody's going around the table in their in confessionals talking about why they would be good with this prime minister. And this shit is hilarious. So we find out that I guess he's single, but he got two kids. One of them is like 18. He looks really young. He does. And they're just super flirty. I feel like he was flirty as well. He was giving off, "I would give it one of y'all" type of energy. So I'm like, y'all could probably make it happen. Whoever wanted to make it happen for real. But he just had a quick little sip with them and then he left. All right, so as he's walking away, they're talking about, how swagged out he is and everything. And Portia says, "Kelly, he looks to be single. He's not wearing a wedding ring. He got two kids." And, Britt says, "Well, a lot of men don't wear their wedding rings." And Angela says, "Yeah, Charles doesn't wear his." And then Portia in the confessional is like, "What's wrong with Angela? Do she have Tourette's?" Like, why is she always yelling her business out? And I'm like, it's so true. Like, Angela, I want to win for you. Like, I want you to win, But why are you not picking up the fact that you are doing nothing but giving these women ammunition? Why do you keep doing that? Like voluntarily. Nobody even asked you this. So she said how they're going to counseling for it. She really wants him to wear his ring or whatever, and they're going to counseling. Okay. Then they bring a cake out and they're bringing it to her. And she's like, what's going on? And it just says happy anniversary with a candle. It was a very sweet moment. They all made her feel really welcome. She teared up. She was like, this is very sweet or whatever. And I thought it was a good moment, especially since on the last trip they were all down there clowning her. So it's like now we've made a full turn. So good for Angela. Here's a win. Here's this win that I wanted for her, right? All right, you guys. So we're done with dinner. They're in their, cars or whatever, making it back. Of course, the girls are split up again. And we have Britt in the car, and she's talking to Drew and Angela and Phaedra. And she's telling them how, Portia saying that, she hasn't been invited to my house. Well, I don't know her like that. And I've never been invited to your house, Drew, or your house, Angela, and this and that. And then Phaedra's in the back, and she's like, whoa, whoa. She's like, you know what? You are doing all of this to yourself. You are sitting on ready, like constantly. And she's like, you need to show yourself friendly because you are just racking up all these enemies for no good reason. Like, why are you doing that? And she is. She's coming in hot she's like, Phaedra's telling her, you're new to the group. So you need to kind of, let people know that you're friendly or whatever. And she's like, if people want to come to your house, go ahead and invite them over. Have a fucking charcuterie board and a bottle of wine, and let's just do this. So in the other car, we have Shamia talking to her husband, and apparently baby girl is sick again. And something about her not having enough clothes on, it being really cold. She had a fever. I don't know if it was the nanny that did it or whatever, but Shamia, of course, was very upset. And rightfully so, because, your baby's sick and you are out of town. Like, you can't get to her. You can't get to her. But the husband says, listen, if she's still not feeling well in the morning, I'm going to take her to the doctor. So that's a beautiful thing. But Shamia is very upset. She's crying, like crying. And they're all trying to console her. They get back to the house. And, well, first of all, Kelly calls them, which was so weird, and let them know that she's crying. And I'm like, I don't understand. Maybe I missed something. I'll watch it again. But so all the girls just kind of rallied around her as she's crying. And I felt bad for her. I really do, because her daughter, she was naming off everything wrong with her baby girl. And it's a lot. It's a lot. All right, so we wrap it up with the girls making it to the house, and they're all sitting in the living room. Shamia comes down with her robe on, and Kelly says, "I think we should all join hands and pray for Shamia." And as soon as she says that, Shamia just breaks down like boo-hoo crying. So it was very sweet. Portia, of course, goes over and hug her, and then all the girls go and they rally around her. And Britt comes and she's like kneel down in front of her, and she's like, no matter what, I have your back, girl. And she's like crying, like crying, like, oh. And she's like, I love you, and we're gonna make it through this, and I got your back, and if we're friends forever. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? But she ends up going to get shots or whatever. That was the joke. I'm going to take shots. I'll take shots with you. I'm going to pour champagne. She ends up taking her top off. And that's that. That's that. Decent enough episode. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad for me to watch a second time. So I guess I was entertained. It was enough. It was good enough. Next week should be good or good-ish. We'll see. But that's it, you guys. If you have made it to the end, you are the real MVP. Again, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you be part of the beautiful people family. Like the video, you guys, once again, it does wonders. It's totally free of charge. Means the world to me. I would appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Smooches.